Hello there, it's Tuesday, the 4th day of August. I'm your host, Adrian Atkinson. A special welcome to our viewers at home and abroad and anyone joining us for the first time. I hope you're enjoying the independent season and taking the opportunity to enjoy some of the free events being offered by our government in communities across the island. Remember to visit the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport website and social media pages for the list of events happening island-wide. With that said, we have an informative show lined up just for you today, highlighting some of the initiatives and developments taking place right here at home. Stay with us. Jamaica Magazine continues right after this break.
From sunrise on the beach to sunsets in the hills, Jamaica is more than a place. It's a vibe. It's the rhythm in our music, the flavor in our food, and the pride in our people. It's how we celebrate life. Bold, proud, and full of energy. From yard to abroad, once you feel it, you know Jamaica is a vibe. Let's keep it positive. Let's keep it proud. Let's keep it Jamaican, because Jamaica is a vibe.
Good day, I'm Twyla Whelan and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, August 4, 2026. Jamaica and the Republic of Ghana have renewed bilateral cooperation in several key areas of national development. These include health, tourism, security, education, trade and maritime linkages. The agreements were discussed during a bilateral meeting between Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness and Ghanaian President John Dramani Mahama, along with their supporting delegations. The talks form part of President Mahama's official visit to the island. During a media briefing, Dr. Holness said both countries had signed an agreement for the recruitment of healthcare professionals from Ghana, a memorandum of understanding on defense cooperation, and updated the agreement on arts and culture.
The Health Cooperation Agreement is already reaping benefits with the anticipated arrivals of nurses to support Jamaica's healthcare system. We expect to expand our relations to include deepened cooperation in health, education, tourism, and air services, the parameters of which we discussed extensively today. And I must say, Mr. President, I'm particularly pleased of the discussions as it relates to air services agreements, the expansion of tourism, and indeed I'm hopeful that in the very near future we could see direct flights from Accra to Montego Bay.
Both countries are also exploring opportunities to increase and strengthen commercial investment through shipping routes and logistics linkages.
By potentially connecting our ports, we could give exporters and investors on both sides of the Atlantic a more efficient route to new markets. We can make it easier for our Ghanaian exporter to reach the Caribbean and the Americas, and easier for a Jamaican exporter to reach Africa, particularly in the context of the African Continental Free Trade Area.
For his part, President Mahama says there are many opportunities that exist for cross-investments between both countries.
Because of the African Continental Free Trade Area, you are able to produce or manufacture in one country and export to the other 54 countries. That creates a market of 1.4 billion people with a GDP of almost $3 trillion. And so that opportunity is available. But vice versa, getting Ghanaian investors to look at the opportunities here in Jamaica, in real estate, in construction, and manufacturing, and several other of those areas. We've also talked about exchanges where we bring Jamaican health professionals to Ghana to train and come back home to to support the health system. We're looking at exchange of teachers, physics and maths teachers, science teachers, and all that. So these are all areas that we can activate.
So far, President Mahama's 4-day visit has included an official ceremonial welcome at King's House on Monday. The day also had scheduled courtesy calls with Governor General Sir Patrick Allen and Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. He later participated in a working luncheon with Jamaican business leaders and toured Kingston Wharfs Limited. In other news, the build-out of containerized housing solutions for the majority of persons who are at the Petersfield shelter following Hurricane Melissa is progressing as planned. The Shrewsbury site in Westmoreland will house 50 units, but will start with an initial 20 in the first phase. 10 have already been delivered. During a tour on Friday, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness said the development was being done in a structured and orderly manner and also to restore the dignity of the beneficiaries.
You will notice that for these houses, we are building a platform. We are putting in the necessary sewer, proper electricity and water. But most important, this site has been graded and they are cutting out lot sizes, and you will have proper roadworks in here. So even though the house is semi-permanent, you effectively will get a house spot which is of a decent size, that in later years you will be able to put up what is called a permanent solution.
Member of Parliament for Central Westmoreland, Dwayne Vaz, says the development has raised optimism among the people who have suffered the wrath of Hurricane Melissa and have been waiting for this day.
Speaking to the contractor and everybody around the project, along with the Westmoreland Municipal Corporation, everybody has stated clearly that they will ensure that it is done in the most speedy and efficient way as possible. So we're really elated that we have finally gotten to this stage, and we're looking forward to the day when persons will actually get the key and come and move onto this property to call this new place home.
Minister of Energy, Transport and Telecommunications Darrell Vaz has directed a comprehensive review of the implementation of the Road Traffic Act. The review will take into consideration outstanding traffic tickets, the demerit point system, and the legal and policy implications of any proposed amendments. In a statement on Monday, the minister said the process would involve extensive consultations with the judiciary and other key stakeholders to ensure that all decisions were legally sound, practical, and in the best interest of the Jamaican people. The announcement comes amid ongoing public debate over the implementation of the demerit points system. A preliminary report is expected in September from a dedicated working group. This will guide the government's final decisions, including whether any legislative changes or a revised implementation date for the demerit point system will be required. Meanwhile, Minister Vaz is reiterating that the government is giving consideration to an amnesty for outstanding traffic matters. However, he stresses that any such measure would be guided by the existing legal framework and established precedent. And finally, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness has declared the 2026 Denby Agricultural, Industrial and Food Show a success. He says the show's success reflects the growing adoption of science, research and technology, which signal the transformation of Jamaica's agricultural sector. Dr. Holness was addressing the closing ceremony of the 72nd staging of the show in Mapen Clarendon on Sunday. According to the Prime Minister, the increasing use of drones, precision farming, sustainable water management and research demonstrate that the sector is moving in the right direction.
We are seeing new practices coming in. We are seeing the towers to grow the leafy vegetables and all kinds of attempt at sustainable water usage, good practices. But I like the fact that there is research now. For example, I saw the case team doing a research in how to reduce methane in feed for ruminants. That is good for the environment in terms of climate change, but it also increases the growth of the ruminants. And this is what I want to see more of in agriculture, greater research in agriculture.
The Prime Minister also welcomed what he described as a cultural shift among farmers, noting that more small farmers are embracing soil testing and precision agriculture to improve yields.
Before, the only science that we used to apply to agriculture is the almanac. But now, I believe our farmers are understanding that they don't need to be afraid of the science of agriculture. So Dembe was a success this year. The celebration of our journey and our struggle continues, but we report progress in this regard.
And that's it for JS News Today. I'm Twyla Whelan. Thanks for watching.
It's now time for Jamaica House Weekly, our recap of key events and developments coming out of the office of the Prime Minister over the last week. Take a look.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness celebrated with homeowners of the Howard Avenue apartments in St. Andrew last week. The National Housing Trust development consists of 248 studio apartments, costing just under $10 million to the beneficiaries. It was constructed under the NHT's Guaranteed Purchase Program.
And I want to use it as an example to other developers who are shying away from the affordable housing segment market, for developers who are seeking to hike the price as much as possible, that yes, we can bring housing solutions to the market at a reasonable price, and here is a perfect example of it.
Today is about so much more than receiving the keys to our house. Today is about hope. It's about security, opportunity, and the fulfillment of dreams that, for many of us, once seems beyond our reach.
Dr. Holness says 5 of the units will be made available to families and individuals in need through the NHT's own social housing program.
So they are means tested, but they are more than likely persons coming from the community in which the house was built. They will be able to occupy the house. Depending on the arrangement, it might be a peppercorn lease or rent, or it might even be free. But upon the passing of the beneficiary, the house will return to the pool of the NHT to be made available to another set of beneficiaries.
The gated Howard Apartments offers amenities such as a clubhouse, exercise space, and a play area for children. The complex also comes equipped with stormwater drains, a potable water distribution network, and a centralized sewage treatment system. Also on the agenda was the official opening of roadways that have been rehabilitated under the Spark program. These are Retreat Drive and Passion Garden to Toby Hill in Bull Bay, St. Andrew. They were done under the community road component of the program. Prime Minister Holness says overall, there are approximately 340 roadways in varying stages of construction and completion.
Of the 340, 110 have been completed. And so the government is doing a pretty decent job. So what we're doing with the Spark program is to renew, rebuild, reconstruct community roads to the highest standard. But even as we celebrate the work that is done, we are the first to acknowledge that it is not enough.
Over in St. Thomas, a section of the Southern Coastal Highway was named the Paul Bogle Highway in honor of a son of the parish, a freedom fighter, and a national hero. Prime Minister Holness unveiled the sign at the official ceremony on Thursday.
Today, we gather to join Jamaica's history to Jamaica's future by designing and designating this section of the Southern Coastal Highway as the Paul Bogle Highway. We honor one of the greatest sons of St. Thomas and reaffirm that national development must always be rooted in our history.
The corridor is a 4-lane highway that stretches from Bull Bay Bridge to the Morant Bay roundabout, with improved alignment to existing roadways within communities.
We decided that development must not bypass the people. Development must bring the people in. And the people being brought in, they too will contribute to the process of development. So, without question, the road has given a new sense of development to the people of St. Thomas.
Dr. Holness announced that there were further development plans for the parish, including a port.
And it's not just a plan, we are well advanced in doing that. It will be an aggregate port, but it will also be for cruise shipping, because we are going to bring tourism to this corridor in a significant way. We are well advanced with a plan to put a museum, yes, a museum in Morant Bay to properly document and house the artifacts and to tell the story of Jamaica.
The journey from St. Thomas to Portland will also be an eco-drive experience with improved beautification and pit stops along the corridor.
And so we're going to develop that route with proper streetscaping, trees, proper stops for public sanitation, proper stops for vendors, develop beaches along the way.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness met with key multilateral partners of Jamaica last week. They include the Chinese and Japanese ambassadors to Jamaica. Meetings were also held with the Secretary General of the International Maritime Organization and with Lord Marvin Rees, British Labour Party politician. Closing out his week of meetings, Dr. Holness welcomed the contestants of the Mrs. Universe Jamaica 2026 and spent time in deep discussion with Professor Peter Henry, chairman of the Jamaica Reconstruction and Resilient Oversight Committee, JAMROC. And finally, Prime Minister Holness paid respect to Jamaica's longest-serving senator, the late Professor Oswald Harding. He was laid to rest on July 27 during an official funeral at the University Chapel in St. Andrew. Dr. Holness also signed a condolence book for Sir Garfield Sobers. The former West Indies cricketer died on July 17. And that's it for Jamaica House Weekly. Be sure to join us next time for more of the news stories coming out of the office of the Prime Minister.
Jamaica 64, united in celebrating resilience. The 2026 Independence celebrations are now underway and continue through to August 6 with a full calendar of exciting events for the entire family. Enjoy a vibrant program of cultural showcases, live entertainment, and community celebrations, including the Independence Village at the National Stadium Complex. Then, join the nation on Thursday, August 6th for the spectacular Independence Grand Gala at the National Stadium. Come, celebrate Jamaica's culture, creativity, and resilience. For the full schedule of events, follow the JCDC on social media. Jamaica 64, united in celebrating resilience.
It's summer, and for many of us that means heading to the beach to cool off, relax, and enjoy the sea. But while we're having fun, it's important to keep safety in mind. Up next, NEPA shares simple tips to help keep you safe and sound on your next beach trip.
The beach, the sunshine, sea breeze, the sound of waves, and memories you want to savor. But have you ever stopped to think, is everyone enjoying the beach safely and responsibly? Whether you're a strong swimmer or just dipping your toes, water safety matters for everyone. Every year, millions visit our water bodies, which include our beaches, rivers, and waterfalls, but not everyone knows the risks. Rip currents, sudden depth changes, slippery rocks, strong undercurrents, and a host of other hazards. But these dangers can be mitigated.
There is a Beach Control Safety Measures Regulation of 2006, and that regulation speaks specifically to the requirements for safety on the beach for patrons. The regulations speak to the question of lifeguards being on the beach, the roles and responsibilities of the lifeguard to ensure that they have control over what's happening on the beach. And so when you go to a beach, you want to ensure that the area is buoyed and that we have lifeguards.
And don't forget, risky behavior like cliff diving or swimming after drinking, not worth it. Also, never swim alone, and non-swimmers must always wear a life jacket.
When visiting beaches, it's important to ensure that you're swimming where lifeguards are present. Never swim alone, always have somebody with you just in case. Remember to stay hydrated, wear the proper sunscreen, make sure that it's reef safe if you can. Always keep a good eye, keep an eye out for children or those around you. Never go do anything unsupervised and just have fun, you know. It's supposed to be a fun time and you can have fun and be safe at the same time.
Using our water bodies safely isn't just about currents and waves or slippery rocks. Marine and freshwater life can also pose risks. Some of our rivers are home to crocodiles, so caution should be taken when taking a dip, and be sure to look out for caution signs regarding wildlife. Jamaica is home to sharks, and while encounters are rare, it's best to be extra cautious during early mornings and late afternoons when visibility is lower and certain species may be more active. Beachgoers should stay alert to local conditions, avoid swimming alone or in secluded areas, and follow any posted safety guidelines. Jellyfish stings can be painful and sometimes life-threatening, so it's important to look out for warning flags or signs on the beach. Fire coral, though it looks harmless, can cause severe skin irritation if touched. By staying alert, following safety notices, and respecting marine life, we can protect ourselves while enjoying the beauty of the ocean. Lifeguards are the first line of defense along our shores, and so the National Environment and Planning Agency NEPA has engaged hundreds of rescuers through training sessions and ensuing exams.
The training exam has been perfect actually. It's been very strict.
Our role is instructing young persons with knowledge, judgment, and skill, I say in the art and the profession of life-saving and lifeguarding.
What I've learned is that you have to be very focused and observant, because if, for instance, there is someone drowning out there, they can't be able to talk or indicate to someone otherwise from just putting up their hands. So if we as lifeguards can be more observant in the field, we can look out for those incidents and try to save life.
Swim in safe zones, keep an eye on the little ones, listen to advice from community members, and remember, if you're unsure, ask a lifeguard. A few small choices can make a big impact on our marine life and your safety. Our actions, good or bad, make a big difference in how we balance recreation and conservation when we use our rivers and beaches.
Package your waste and so that it can be collected and disposed of at the proper location, the proper waste disposal site. The public also need to be aware of the importance of our coastal vegetation, as an example, our mangroves, our seagrass along our beaches. They are important in stabilizing our coastal environment.
Our beaches are treasures, not just for today, but for generations to come. So, let's keep them safe and clean. For more details, contact the National Environment and Planning Agency NEPA There's also a beach guide webpage where you can access information about Jamaica's beaches, beach safety tips, and ongoing beach cleanup initiatives.
Following Hurricane Melissa, churches in some of the hardest hit communities are getting help to rebuild and resume their role in serving residents. Here's a look at the government's Community Churches Cleanup and Restorative Grant Initiative.
Across Jamaica, churches are more than places of worship. They are centers of comfort, fellowship, and support, often opening their doors for people in need during difficult times. When Hurricane Melissa damaged churches across the sections of Western Jamaica, many of these important community institutions found themselves in need of help. Recognizing the vital role they play, the government introduced the Community Church Cleanup and Restorative Grant Initiative. Implemented by the Ministry of Local Government through the Social Development Commission, SDC, the initiative is helping churches recover and restore facilities damaged by Hurricane Melissa.
The commitment of the government of Dr. Andrew Holness is to serve all the people of Jamaica when the need arises, and the church found themselves in that position. And what makes me proud as a Jamaican, that despite the challenges, the difficulties that the churches have experienced over the period, they have not closed their doors in saving souls and preaching the gospel.
To help keep the church doors open, $75 million was set aside for approximately 420 churches in the 5 parishes hardest hit by the hurricane, namely St. Elizabeth, Trelawney, St. James, Hanover, and Westmoreland. So far, more than $64.6 million has been distributed to over 359 churches in 4 of the 5 parishes. The program provides funding for debris removal, minor roof repairs, replacement of doors, windows and gutters, waterproofing, and other essential remedial work. The assistance reflects the government's recognition of the role churches play, particularly in times of crisis.
Many of our churches found the courage and the strength to continue to operate under tents, in open spaces, continuing to do the work that you have been ordained to do.
Following the initial phase, the program is being expanded with an additional $50 million to assist churches in Clarendon and St. Anne. The additional funding brings the total value of the initiative to $125 million. For many church leaders, the grants represent more than financial assistance. They are helping to restore institutions that have long stood at the heart of their communities.
I want to say thanks on behalf of the people I serve in Bowgill and here, Cornell Avenue. Thanks. This is going far away.
When I got the text this week, I was so happy and joyful. And we are very, very grateful, sir. And we will put it to good use.
The Social Development Commission says the program's impact will be felt long after the repairs are completed.
As you go through the process of repair and rebuild, the process of restoration is not just a physical one, it's a spiritual restoration as well, because the work ahead is tremendous. And we have to work together as a team, supported by the Most High.
Happy birthday to everyone celebrating today and to those marking a special anniversary. We wish you all the very best. If you're visiting Jamaica for the very first time, welcome. And to those returning, welcome back home. Remember to visit our website in the meantime at jis.gov.jm for more news you can use. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thank you so much for watching and do stay safe.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.